opening tip. We'll get back to those top stories, but I want to alert your attention. You realize this week, Jack, two of the most powerful people in college sports have been openly attacking one another, and they're kind of supposed to be on the same team, it feels like.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah, this is interesting. And they've been calling out each other by name in the media. Cody Campbell, the billionaire chair of the Texas Board of Regents, this week. We know the name Cody Campbell, played at Texas Tech for Mike Leach, but now he's a billionaire, his oil money. And so he's become a trailblazer here and an advocate for college athletics and college athletes, not just football. But he also has helped supply the funds that have made Texas Tech a power in a lot of the sports in their athletic department, including football. Well, he criticized the Big 12 this week. And I want to get your thoughts on this, you folks out there, because I think a lot of you are going to agree with Cody Campbell's side of this. He criticized the Big 12 and their leadership, Brett Yormark, their commissioner. In a tweet earlier in the week, Cody Campbell wrote on X, "Friday night lights are sacred to the great state." And he called the possible Friday night game that's on the schedule between Texas Tech, his beloved Red Raiders, and the Houston Cougars this fall absolutely absurd. And tagged the Big 12 commissioner, Brett Yormark, saying, "I know that Brett Yormark is not a native Texan, but he's been here long enough to know better. Friday night lights are sacred for high school football. West Texas, Central Texas, any part of Texas." And I know there's a lot of folks, the Texas High School Coaches Association on the high school level have always argued, don't be playing college football games on Friday night. We don't make football fans make a choice. Don't make football fans choose. They want to go to their high school game of choice, whether they're in the Panhandle or deep West Texas or right here. But if you're a Red Raider or a Houston Cougar, you're going to want to watch that game. But Brett Yormark fired back, as he is. He's a guy from East Coast, New Jersey. He's not going to back down. He said Cody Campbell does not run the Big 12. Yormark told the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. He jumped into the local paper to respond to Cody Campbell. He said, "Our board and our ADs approving a 12 games a year off Saturdays is an effort to raise the profile, the narrative, and the viewership of the Big 12 football conference. Texas Tech hosting a primetime game on Friday night will deliver that." Okay? So Campbell responded, said, Cody Campbell says, "As a commissioner, Brett Yormark needs to remember that he works for the presidents of the conferences, and the presidents work for the boards," he told the Front Office Sports website. In addition to the billions of dollars in West Texas oil capital, Campbell is the chairman of the Texas Tech System Board of Regents. So Campbell fires back with well, yeah, we kind of do. We are in charge of the presidents. The presidents hire you.
Right.
So Yormark, he also went on to add, Cody Campbell, he is not the dictator of the conference. That's not his role. His responsibility is to advocate for his membership and members in all cases. So there we go. Cody Campbell and Brett Yormark feuding.
Right.
And he also joked, Cody Campbell, apparently Brett didn't get the memo. Everything runs through Lubbock. You remember that great Joey McGuire quote?
Sure.
But so he's also into the Saving College Sports thing. And here we go. Where are you on this? I mean, I know a lot. I'm going to assume a lot of our listenership at 512-834-1027 is on Cody Campbell's side. They shouldn't be playing on Friday night. But Brett Yormark's job is to advocate for the Big 12. And if you're going to try to create new eyeballs and not be in the crowded Saturday space where the SEC and the Big Ten and the big networks and the big games tend to dominate, you can see him arguing for, hey, man, and you don't want to do it on a Thursday night. That's a shorter, even week, and you got the NFL on Thursday night. So Friday night is your open window to showcase Texas Tech with their hotshot new quarterback coming in from Cincinnati against Willie Fritz in Houston. That's a big game. That's a big game. But how big would it be if it was side-by-side with a massive Big Ten showdown or a massive SEC showdown on a Saturday? You kind of see both sides of this argument.
Yeah, of course. I understand, for a lot of people, and in the state of Texas, high school football is king even still, right? But for Brett Yormark, you're thinking about the national audience. They're trying to turn Cody Campbell, Texas Tech, into the national brand that you are also trying to turn them into, and you're not going to get that because, sorry, but people are going to watch Georgia, and people are going to watch Ohio State, and people are going to watch those bigger brands on Saturdays, whereas this is your opportunity to get a standalone game. And by saying you don't want this Friday standalone game, I know there's going to be other games, but let's be honest, that would be the marquee matchup on Friday, not Bowling Green and Northern Illinois or whoever's going to be playing also on a Friday. If you don't want this Friday game, some other Big 12s, they're going to give it to Dion, or they're going to give it to, UCF or whoever it is, and then that becomes the game that everybody's watching, and nobody's talking about you. Again, that's not going to be a huge game either way, but I think I mean, Texas fans don't like Brett Yormark. We booed him after the Big 12 championship game, and I think Cody Campbell isn't wrong, but I also think he's a guy that has gotten a little big for his britches.
Well, but look, he's from Texas, and he played high school football in Texas, and he played college football in Texas. I get it. He's made billions in Texas, and he's right. I mean, this has long been a fight from the Texas high school coaches' side. We're not don't play. It is the Friday nights for high school football. But Brett Yormark's job is to do what he's doing, and to your point, Cody Campbell, it's one Friday night where your Texas Tech, your beloved Red Raiders, can take center stage in the college football landscape. Because the game with Houston's a big one. Willie Fritz is a really good coach, and Houston was a 10-win team a year ago.
And they got like a 5-star quarterback.
Yes, I mean the kid. Yes, they're going to be a contender in the Big 12. Yeah. That's a really big game. And think about what you get on that. You get the national attention of a Friday night because a large majority of the football population doesn't go to a high school football game on Friday night. But in Texas, they do. But what that leads to is you get center stage on a Friday night, and then you'll get if you have a great performance and a great game, what are they going to be talking about on College Game Day the next day? Like on Fox, Big Noon Fox? You're going to be the lead story. If your guy your quarterback Sorsby goes out and puts up a Heisman performance, or you have an electric game and a finish, that's going to be the top story all Saturday morning.
And I always look at this as an opportunity. I can assure you, they play plenty of high school football games on Thursdays.
Yes, they do.
If you're worried about it, I'm looking at it right here. He went to Canyon High School in Randall County, Texas. Cody Campbell did.
Yes, he did.
So If it's a big deal, you could put all these Lubbock schools or these Panhandle schools. You could try and play a game on Thursday and ramp it into a big Texas Tech weekend.
And
you could make something out of it.
You got months to prepare. Yeah,
you know this in April. You're not finding out about this. We always on our show update people about kick times, and sometimes we're a week out, and you're like, oh, I guess the game's going to be at 3.
Yeah, you can see if they change it. You got all off season to plan that in Greater Lubbock and West Texas, and this is something I would think maybe get into the tournament. And you say brig for their britches. They were in the playoff last year. Maybe they think they've arrived.
Oh, they've started to rub some Big 12 fans the wrong way. They're like, you waited 1 year for Texas and OU to leave, and now you're acting just like them.
Well, but they can be the big dog of the conference. We said that as Texas and Oklahoma walked out the door, was you need a brand to take control and become, kind of a draw. And it could be Texas Tech. They're interesting. But yeah, that's a really good debate. We'll take your thoughts. 512-834-1027. I see that's Brett Yormark's job is to raise the profile. And I think, despite all the criticism of how Texas fans didn't like him, I think he's done a great job. I've argued that he saved the Big 12 from becoming what the Pac-12 happened, right? His aggressiveness, his ability to look outside the box and do things that other people and old college administrators and the old heads weren't thinking about, saved the Big 12. And now, last year they had a team in the playoffs. People were arguing for BYU and Utah out of his conference. Now, that's his job. The Big 12 might win the college basketball championship with Arizona, because he was aggressive and went and got the Four Corners schools into the Big 12, and now might have a college basketball national championship out of his conference. So I see both sides of it, but I tend to side with Jack. I won't be at a high school football game on that Friday night. I would be watching that game,
right?
Eagerly watching that game. But I know a lot of you will be at high school football games, and you don't want to have to choose.